What's up, goodies? Welcome back to your girl channel and to my kitchen, how to cook. And today we are making vegetarian ITAL stew in the kitchen. Fast, easy, and simple. I'm not gonna show you just how. Be sure you subscribe to the channel, good. If you have not, turn on your post notifications so you won't miss any of these good uploads. After all, I'm returning good. On a done know so the girl love it on ready for cook. Make we cook the thing. Now we're going to make this ITAL stew with using soya chunks, soya vegan vegetarian chunks. That's the one that we're using today, and I'm going to walk you through this step by step, even for beginners. Gonna have this in the bag, right? Now we're talking about our soya vegan veggie chunks here. I bought this one in the farmers market, y'all. They have different size ones, all right? But we'll talk about that again later on. Now we are making vegetarian chunks, vegetarian stew, ITAL stew, okay? So we need as much vegetables here. I will definitely list all the veggies that I use for the recipe in the description part of this video. But we do have carrots and pumpkin and chocho and bell peppers and tomatoes and scallion and thyme and some other things that we'll add to the recipe to make it vegetarian and filled with nothing but deliciousness of healthy of flavors here, okay? And potatoes, yeah, but we're gonna add it everything. We're gonna write them down, but I'm promising not to do that this time. Oh yeah, did I say celery? Yes, right there. But of course you could take away, and this is how the chocho look. Just so maybe you're wondering what name chocho I ate that. Now, to the recipe you need a fresh coconut. If you don't have fresh coconut, you're still in the good. Just be sure that you could find maybe a canned coconut or the powdered coconut or the frozen coconut. Whatever you could find, just add it to the recipe. Now to make my spinners, I'm going to be using the oats flour here. And of course, you know how to make oats flour using fresh oats, right? We're going to add some seasonings here. And again, I will list all the seasons that I use. But be sure that you have a lot of garlic here because this recipe takes a lot of garlic. The more garlic is, the better the recipe is going to taste and the more healthier it's going to be. Now let's cook. Now to get your veggie chunks started here, of course you want to go ahead and get you some warm water. Warm water will help to soften the veggie chunks very fast, more than if you would use cold water to let it sit and get softened. Be sure that you soften your veggie chunks before you cook it because it is a little bit hard. It's kind of tough. So you want to soften it so we could get the texture of meat because it's going to mimic the meat, right? Now, for some of you that are allergic to beans, you might not want to use these veggie chunks because these veggie chunks is definitely soybeans, all right? Now, after you've soaked it, let it sit for about, I'd say maybe 30 minutes at least. 30 minutes worked for me, but if yours is a little bit on the harder side, once you test it like I'm testing here, you go ahead and you give it another 5 or 10 minutes. Now they do have larger veggie chunks that it's in the supermarket. You might not like this particular size that I'm using. They definitely have larger ones. But based on the recipe that you're cooking, it's going to be your choice to buy the size of the veggie chunks that you so choose. Now, what you want to do before you move on to the cooking phase of the recipe is squeeze out 95% of that water. Now whatever you wasn't able to squeeze out, that is fine, but you definitely want to be sure that you get rid of some of that water before you start cooking your stew or whatever kind of recipe you decide to use these veggie chunks to make. Just get rid of some of the water. When you're done, this is what you're going to have. Now moving along, in a pot, number Dutchie, because I'm using my Dutchie here. You could substitute out that Dutchie, doesn't have to use that. I did add some coconut oil here, okay? And then I add some vegan butter, and I added some of my garlic, okay, that I chopped up earlier. I kind of let it toast up just a little bit, that garlic, okay? And then I added the veggie chunks to the mix here. Now you want to be sure that your fire, y'all, is definitely at a medium heat here. You don't want to put it on high heat because you will definitely in fact burn your garlic and everything else. You don't want it to come to a crisp. Now after about, I'll say maybe 10 to 15 minutes of doing all of that spinning and all of that, you go ahead and throw in all your vegetables here. And once again, y'all, I will definitely tell you what I'm using as far as my veggie of choice. Now it's time to season. So you're going to season with your favorite seasonings. I did add my Ocherios combo seasoning to it. Maybe about 6 or 7 pimento berries or pimento seeds, because it's going to kick it up a notch. Of course, I don't cook without vinegar, so I added the vinegar, and then I added some coconut. Yes, add the coconut honey into the mix, because let me tell you something. There's no way you can cook any kind of a stew without adding some fresh coconut, all right, to it, or whatever, fresh overnight, yesterday, tomorrow morning, just add it in. I did add some browning and cover and cook for 10 minutes at a medium heat here. Now while it's cooking, it's time to combine our spinners. We're gonna make with spinners for the mix, because we are making stew, and we have to have our spinners in. Jamaicans love spinners. Now I did not add any salt to it, y'all, because this is in fact ITAL stew. We're not adding any salt to the mix, but if you want salt, add it. But I did add some coconut oil to it, and I did add some water to hold the dough together. And when I was done, that is what I had here. Now you might ask me how much flour did I use. I use 1 cup of the oats flour is what I use for the recipe. If you don't want to use oats flour, you can use all-purpose flour, almond flour, whatever you feel comfortable with. Now after everything is nicely come together, my fire here is at a medium heat. It is going to produce a moisture simply because of your veggies of choice, filled with moisture, natural juices, honey. It looks pretty much like that. Now it's time to go in and taste it up to make sure that it is the flavor that you like it. But again, I did not add any salt because it is salt free. Now you want to choose the size of your spinners. That size was perfect for me. It wasn't too small, and it definitely wasn't too big. It was right in the middle. So I went ahead and just put in my spinners in and combine everything. Now at this stage, what I did though, I did turn the fire down between a low to a medium heat, because I didn't want it to cook too fast. I want everything to come together and bust up in a flavor. So I decided to turn my fire down even a little bit lower to give everything time to do what it had to do. Now, make sure again to taste it up to see if you need to add any more salt, or if you need to add any more seasonings. Add 1 cup of water is what I did, just to make sure that my spinners had enough water to cook it. So it was all set and it was ready to just go ahead and just finish up. And again, my fire is at a low to medium heat. Let it simmer for about 30 minutes. When I came back after 30 minutes, this is what I had, boo. All right, goodie. All right, that's all right there. This is what I had. It was fast, it was easy, it was simple, it was yummy, and it's healthy. Okay, on period. Everything is cooked really good here. But yeah, you know, some apple put it on a plate phone, right? So just be sure that you like the video, share it with a friend, tell a family member, tell them where I go and bring them come. I'm waiting. And when you got done doing all of that, tell me where you want to see me I cook next in my kitchen. And remember, as always, from my kitchen to your kitchen, enjoy.